Hello there, everybody. Sobana92, aka Nightmare, and I have no idea how to properly summarize what the fuck happened last episode. For one, I kind of went a little bit over my normal recording time, but then again, I have a little bit more free time, and I don't technically have free time as much as I did last time, as I'm kind of working on a bit of a finale for the Pokemon Coliseum Let's Play, and, that entire last recording was extremely uncomfortable for two reasons. That in that obvious scene that GAs, you were kind enough. I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if I'm safer having this knowledge or not. But apparently, yes, that particular scene with Rusalka was infinitely worse in the 18. Yeah, that's a terrifying thought. The one time I wish I was wrong. But, yeah, it kind of feels like this is sort of a jab at the people that wanted a Rusalka route, because this entire little fanfiction sort of world that Rusalka has made so far, just seeing Rusalka act so, I don't know, I guess one guy put it right, it's kind of out of character. It feels legitimately weird. I was just kind of hoping, is it over yet? Is it over? No, it gets worse. What the hell's going on? Somebody help! Okay. Okay, this is... What a way to start the Himuro route, am I right? Himuro glanced in my direction with a docile look on her face, reminding me that lunchtime had come. Well, yeah, you got the infinite sandwich bag, of course. I was eating lunch with all the people I talked to this morning. It appeared to have become a custom of ours. The skies might have been clear, but the wind remained strong and there was a definite chill in the air. Luckily for us, we had all grown quite fond of having lunch on the roof. Also, Christian girl, okay! That's another... Oh my god. Magic? Well, about that. Himuro meant to imply that since I'd been eating the lunches Rusalka had prepared for me, her own sandwiches remained mostly untouched. Did she even know what subtlety was? That said, I couldn't exactly say that to Himuro's face. Also, I'm so used to seeing Shiro in his, like, that red outfit. It feels weird seeing him in a school uniform. I don't... It's not so much with Ellie, but just... Bull. One thing that I was a little bit confused about, apparently in Japan, public displays of affection are kind of seen as, you know, inappropriate and stuff like that. Okay, so, thank you very much for the clarification on that. I think I was actually told that once, or, like, God, I can't remember when this was, but I feel like I'd heard that already. I guess I just forgot.
つうかなんでそこでミノムシなんだよ。だいたいあれだ。 この人にもらうとなんか違うのか？呪術師なのか先輩は。
Can't deny that.
なんか混ぜてそうだよね。髪とか血とか。なんでわかったの？
Wait, what?
混ぜてたのかよ。
とにかく彼女がいんのに別の女から料理もらおうって神経が私は信じられないんですけど。
It seemed Shiro hadn't told her about how Kasumi made his breakfast every morning. He probably didn't think there was any reason to go out of his way to tell her. Kasumi the meddler let out a sigh that conveyed all her spiraling frustration at only being able to make lunch for herself these days. Shiro was munching on a croquette sandwich from the cafeteria. Well, in comparison.
ねえねえ、その一口ハンバーグ美味しい？
ああ、これ冷凍とかじゃないよな。
手作りだよ。頑張ったんだ。冷めちゃってどうかなって思ったんだけど。
This feels so freaking weird.
愛妻弁当か。なあ、羨ましいね。
言いたいことははっきり言えよ。
じゃあ明日から俺の弁当作ってきてくんない？
いやよ、めんどくさ。朝に料理する時間なんかあったら私は寝るし。
Priorities.
なあレイよ、どう思う？あの女おかしいよな。言ってることおかしいよな。
Dude, she could totally hear you. I was more surprised that Shiro was actually doing as Honjo told. That alone was probably something to cherish, but unfortunately it didn't seem to be getting across to her very well.
レン君はさ。
Hmm? I answered her as I ate at a glazed carrot. Glazed carrot? I kind of prefer carrots either steamed or just standard, but glazed?
レアのサンドイッチ食べたい？
あ、いや、それは。
明日からお弁当の量減らしてもいいよ。どうする？
This is still very weird. I looked up at Rusalka and ran my hand through her hair.
こら、何するの？
別にいいよ、今のままで。
Yes, it was best as it was right now. It would be best if things continued to go on as they were right now.
なんですこれ？むやみにクリーミーなんですが。
Huh?
生クリームと果物のサンドイッチってあるでしょ？あれの応用なんだと思うの。だったら果物を合わせてくださいよ。なんでツナなの？
Are you actively trying to poison them?
私に言われても。月額の売店は本当にチャレンジャーだからとしか言えない。
The three of them were having a noisy chat about sandwiches on the bench. I watched them without a care in the world, only to be brought back by the sensation of Rusalka tugging on my sleeve.
ねえ、レン君。
あれ？
Rusalka was pointing at the other side of the bench. Shiro and Honjo were holding each other. I couldn't see everything clearly from my current position, but they were...
チューしてる？
Wait, what?
多分。っていうか見るなよ、あんなの。
Okay then. I proceeded to cover Rusalka's eyes.
なんでよ。
なんでも何も留学生には教育上良くないだろ。
Yeah. Yeah, good luck trying to corrupt that ball of corruption. I can't even come up with a good joke for that one. That just, yeah.
だってあんなの街角で普通に見かけるじゃない。
いや、見かけないから。ドイツではどうだか知らないけど、日本じゃああいうのは多数派じゃないんだよ。ああいうのがこっちの普通だと思って帰られたら国際的に良くない。
そう？この間レアと一緒に電車に乗った時普通にいたよ。彼女愛し合う二人にとって世界はお互いだけが光を放っているの。素敵ねって。
の人の意見を一般論にされてもな。
Yeah, Himuro is Himuro, so.
それで桜井にはその話をした？
なんか怒ってた。変だよね。
桜井が普通なんだよ。
そうなの？
そう、あんまり先輩が普通だと思うな。
ねえ、今とても不名誉な罵倒を受けた気がするんだけど、藤井君。
No.
うわって先輩いつの間に。
Hi. Kasumi stood up at almost the exact same time I flinched backwards in surprise.
シロとエリは？
さあ。
Oh, dear lord. Sakurai glanced in the other direction and stuffed the last piece of sandwich into her mouth in an apparent attempt to shut herself up. Though I could only see half of her face, I could tell she was blushing slightly. So she really did see that kiss, didn't she?
二人してどこかへしけ込んだみたいね。
Yep, probably.
しけ込むの？
Oh god.
レアさん、そういう日本語ばかり教えないでください。
This is so bizarre.
しけ込む？じゃあ午後の授業は？
They'll probably still be shocking it up by then.
サボりね。愛する二人にはお互いさえあればそれで足りるのよ。
あれ？じゃあ放課後のペットショップは？
戻ってくるんじゃないかしら。ことが済めば。
そんなことより午後は体育よ、綾瀬さん。そろそろ行きましょう。
でもそうだっけ、着替えなきゃだね。
Oh, please tell. Oh god.
でもだって、
This is so fucking weird. Kasumi was so shocked that her eyes seemed to be spinning in confusion.
じゃあちょっと早いけど私も教室に戻る。
ですね。
年寄りにはこの寒さは正直厳しいものね。どっこいしょ。
拗ねないでくださいよ。
別に私だけ学年が違うのは仕方のないことだもの。
You're totally
拗ねて
sulking.
なんかないもの。
Don't lie. BS. She definitely felt left out.
放課後一緒にペットショップへ行きますか？
じゃあ私オウムが見たい。店で変な言葉を覚えたら値段が下がるかもしれないし。
Could you imagine if you get yourself like a parrot at a discounted price just because it knows like a few profanity words or something like that?
やっぱりレアさん来ないでください。
冗談なのに。
Bull, you're totally gonna do it. No, I definitely wouldn't put it past her. I stood up with that thought. Rusalka stood lightly on her tiptoes and grabbed my shoulder.
さ、放課後なんだけど。
ああ、断ったろ？
そうじゃなくて、ここで会おうよ。二人きりで。
Rusalka dashed off, clinging onto Sakurai's waist. The latter let out a light cry, seeing as how she was just assaulted from behind right in front of the staircase, but I couldn't tell what she was saying. Some part of me is just kind of like imagining like she's just kind of written like if this is Rusalka's weird as fuck fan. Actually, wait a minute. Some guy created DS Irae. Mercurius is writing the tale of each route. Rusalka wrote this. This is a story within a story. Wait, this is a story within a story. Within a story. My head hurts. Or rather, whatever it was didn't matter. Rusalka's whispers left a ticklish sensation and unique heat in my ear. A cold breeze blew by. The heat shielding my ears had probably welled up from deep within me. I remembered Shiro and Honjo kissing when I touched my ears. Rusalka must have seen them and imagined us doing the same. I felt a bit annoyed that she was influenced by Shiro. But, well, I was starting to think that wasn't so bad. Oh my god. He's gonna wake from this illusion and just be like, what the hell? Help! My head was in the clouds all throughout the afternoon classes. No matter what I did, I just couldn't concentrate. Or to be perfectly honest, I could only think about the same things. The sensation of her kissing me on the cheek, her breath as she whispered those secret words in my ear, and what Shiro had shown us. Every time my thoughts were on the verge of heading in wicked directions, I looked down at my textbooks, but my teacher's voices weren't registering with me at all. I couldn't keep my cool. My heart was restless the whole time. I mocked myself, thinking of how utterly comical it'd be if I was the only one getting worked up like this. Okay, Mercurius, what the hell were you thinking? Did you just do this to kind of spite the people that, wanted a Rusalka route, even though it's not really feasible as an idea? Did you really do it like this, man? Because you're weirding me out, my dude. Maybe Rusalka hadn't been insinuating anything like that at all. If so, then I'd be a dumbass for getting so bothered by it. It was frustrating and pathetic. But for some reason, not even those thoughts could calm me down. I was convinced that she was definitely thinking the same thing I was, that she wanted the same thing. So... Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Please let this be the moment oh, by the way, this is an illusion. You're dead! The roof was still as windy as... I'm sorry. The roof was still just as windy after school had ended. We stood side by side, gripping the rings of the fence. We felt each other's presence, unable to tear our eyes away from the scenery before us. For some reason, the dully familiar rooftop view felt like a brand new sight to me. The two of us stood next to each other and listened to the sound of the wind as we looked down on the systematically constructed tourist city. I felt a faint source of heat to my right. We were so close that I knew if I stretched my hand out I could grab her slender shoulder and bring her over to me. This is so fucking weird. Yeah.
見渡したところで別に何もない街だけどな。
そんなことないよ。いっぱいあるじゃん。
そうかな。
そうだよ。
そっか。
さあ。
Crap, what the hell was I doing? I knew she didn't call me out here to talk about this sort of stuff. But there had to be something I could use to transition into that topic. Unfortunately, there just hadn't been any chances to do so in this conversation. Yeah, that was all it was. We fell silent again. Maybe I had it wrong all this time? As I stood still, unnerved by that silence, I suddenly felt something touch my right pinky. I looked to my side as... Oh my god, this is so goddamn cliche! We're curious the fuck! I looked to my side to see our hands interlaced between us. I saw myself reflecting those azure eyes of hers, a gaze that left a fierce impression on all it beheld. Imagine somebody just casually walking in on this. They have no idea what the fuck Dies Irae is. They would immediately assume that this is the weirdest little... the most cliche rom-com right now. I think that's actually probably the... Two words that I can use to describe this entire thing. Cliche and uncharacteristic, in a way. Uncharacteristic as, well, there's not as much devious in this. That or maybe Rusalka's a fantastic actress. I don't know. I don't know. Her eyes and voice stimulated a part of my brain. What in the world was this sensation? This anxiety I've been feeling since this morning. You're going to kill me, aren't you? She moved her beguiling lips and carved my name into the cold wind with a husky voice. We drew closer to each other as if affected by a magnetic force. With my left hand and Rusalka's right grasping the fence, we bent our bodies unnaturally and kissed. Not even a shock on that one. The fence, with my left hand still gripping it, made a sound as though rebuking me for trying to catch up to the rapidly fading warmth. Himuro's gonna fucking hate you right now. No. No. Stop. Stop! Please, get me out of this nightmare!
私結構頑張ってるんだから。みんなの前でキスしたり。ペットショップは本 当のところ私もちょっと行きたかったんだけど、でも今日は
I mean, God, this is...
終わって
This is uncomfortable!
それで私の方から声もかけたし、それでレイ君
I
来
mean,
てくれた。
I'm just infinitely more confused. Especially, like, the event that preceded all of this has left, it's only been a couple of days, but I still feel extremely uncomfortable right now. Even with this, and I'm still confused. Rusalka's red hair danced in the wind.
レイ君に頑張ってほしいんだけど。
I looked up from my tiptoes to the sky, gazed at the clouds, closed my eyes, and without opening them, shook my head to the right and opened my eyes. Her azure eyes were looking right up at me. Filled with amusement, enticement... Filled with amusement, enticement... Huh? Double the enticement? And goading. Invisible lightning shot out of them and sent sparks running through my body in an instant. My left hand then parted from the fence as though it were electrocuted. I placed my hand over Rusalka, still wrapped around the rings of the fence. Her hands then slipped away from the fence as if my touch were the key. We turned to each other. I stared at her beautiful pink lips, the ones I'd seen every day. No. Seriously, I was such an idiot. Every day? These were the same lips I saw every day? No, they weren't. Why hadn't I noticed earlier? Oh, damn it. I thought he was snapping out of it. She was wearing lipstick. I was sure of it now that I'd gotten a close look at her. Maybe it wasn't lipstick, but at the very least I hadn't seen that color on her before. I must have noticed it unconsciously. That had to be why I'd been feeling like something was off the whole time. No, it wasn't. It was just, this is not right. This is the fucking Himura route. Sorry. Am I getting annoying at this point? Because I'm getting confused. And with that thought, several things that seemed unnatural suddenly cleared right up. I'd been driving her to try her hardest all day. I brought her small frame towards me as though it were but a second nature. We could feel each other's warmth through our school uniforms. It was tantalizing. A great many words came to my head. She's so warm. What if someone drops in on us? She's so sweet. Her hair is soft. I gotta say something. I can hear the wind rattling the fence. She's small. There's a plastic bag floating around the wind somewhere. She's so slender. I can hear students participating in club activities. I'm cold. I'm freezing. She smells nice. So lovely. But each thought disappeared just as soon as it had come, like soap bubbles. What a weird way to describe that. Our embrace was the best way for me to convey them. Far more than any words or actions could.
冷たくなってる。
今日はちょっと寒かったね。
Rusalka hesitantly wrapped her fingers around mine.
冷たいね。
お前よりはあったかいよ。
She gripped my hands and buried her face in my chest.
たまるよ。
I gripped those chilled, slender fingers back while taking care not to exert too much strength.
ちょっとはしゃいじゃったね。
キスの話？
でもあんなのごまかしだよね。
Window dressing? So what she was really implying was...
そうかな。
レン君はあれで満足？
Well, yeah, in its own way. But of course.
昼休みすごかったよね。
何が？
I knew what she meant, but it was probably cowardice that drove me to play dumb.
エリーちゃんとシロ君映画みたいだった。
ドイツじゃ普通だって言ってただろ。
言ったけどでも
I got the picture. I held her close to me with all I had, then lost myself in stealing a kiss from her, because the kiss keeps going. It just keeps going. She instinctively resisted, but only for a moment. She then loosened up as though she was melting into me. Of course it's still going. It was only after our lips met that I realized mine were dry. I figured that I had to feel disgusting for Rusalka, but I just couldn't bring myself to part from that sweet sensation. Please end it! Soft tissue brushed against my bottom, carefully tracing the borderline between the inside and outside of my... Stop it! Stop it! Stop! 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 I felt all the tension slip out of my arms. It was at that moment I realized Rusalka was standing on her tiptoes. I filled my nose and lungs with her scent. Rusalka wrapped her arms around my... This is uncomfortable! Stop! Her arm I stretched neck and drew me close. She gave me a peck on the lips as if to grant them the relief from their chapped status so they so desired. Stop it! Stop it! Rusalka giggled as though it tickled her. Her melodic voice sang to me as we brushed our noses against each other. Quite literally the height of cliché. Don't go in that direction, Ren! I couldn't be sure of that, of course, but I didn't want it to end here. Oh, good lord. Maybe we should have picked a more romantic location. But She freed my neck from her arms and wrapped her warm palms around my cheeks. I took a breath without even noticing it. The sensation of her giggles against my face was making me ticklish. Probably from Shiro? I placed my hands on hers. She loosened her fingers from my cheeks and wrapped them around my own. Something that made her feel at ease. We pressed our cheeks together. Though chilled by the wind, they began to heat each other up. And... This is so goddamn bizarre. Congratulations, Rusalka people! You got your weird as fuck route! Also, dear god, that face looks terrifying. I embraced her tiny frame against the scarlet skies of dusk. I could feel her heartbeat and aroma flow into me with her warmth. The two of us felt the wind blow past us as we looked out into the toilet scenery before us. Ooh, stop looking at me. It's really creepy. It's like she's fucking staring at me and mocking me right now. Also, is it just me, or I don't know if that's the shadow being placed, but why does that look like an evil grin from Rend over there? There was a hint of anguish mixed with her modest joy. Her peaceful expression was betrayed by a voice full of distress as she looked far off into the distance. Now that I'd noticed it, I couldn't help but question her about it. Legitimately terrible. Like, I'm not imagining it. It's like, at least I hope I'm not imagining it. It's like she's fucking just glaring at me like, you wanted this, you got it. I didn't want this! I wrapped my arms around her tighter so she wouldn't bluff. Now we were facing the same direction.
そのまま止まってくれたらいい？
ああ、どうか胸を張れる輝きのままでいてくれと、そう思うんだ。
I know I'd fight anyone in order to protect mine. Fight. The word had a rather unpleasant ring to it here, yet it felt oddly appropriate.
なくしたものは帰ってこない。後でどれだけ追い求めても、伸ばした指先の間からすり抜けるだけだろう。
Which was why I embraced Rusalka like there was no tomorrow. Why was I feeling so uneasy today? This moment was unsteady, almost like I was walking on a straw scaffolding. Like just blinking made me feel like I was sinking into a swamp. But those words.
怖いね。レン君の言うこと。すごく強いけど、とても脆い。誰だって最初はみんなそう言うの。自分なら大丈夫。この思いがあるから前を向いている限りは、意地を張っていられる限りはきっと、必ず守り抜ける。それが当たり前で正しい答えなのは万人にわかる回答だけどね。え、それなら望まないままなくしちゃったらどうすればいいのかな。ミスしたあなたがバカだとか、力不足なのがダメだとか、仲間がいないから、誓いが足りなかったから、相手が強かったからとか、いろいろと理由は並べられるけど、本当にどうしようもなかった時、全部の力を出し切ってそれでも不可能だって突きつけられたら。
それは
I couldn't answer her. Her voice, now laced with further sorrow, turned into a sigh that dissolved into the twilight.
自分は何も悪いことしてなくて、毎日を精一杯生きていて、笑ったり泣いたり、時には失敗もしながらまた歩き出していて、何も間違ってない。誰に恥じることもない生き方をしていても、残酷な運命ってあるものでしょう。
Yeah, it was sad, but true. And also why I felt I couldn't just simply dismiss her argument. All sorts of harrowing misfortunes existed that dealt major damage, even when we were prepared for them. Like a storm. The world was teeming with them, and very few could avoid them no matter how carefully they made decisions. Gaps in talent that no amount of hard work would close. Disparities between us set from the moment we are born. To be blunt, it was just painful.
自分に非のある場合ならいいの。反省するのも絶望するのも、そこは自業自得って言えるじゃない。けどね、何も悪くないのに奪われたら、お前じゃダメだって言われたら、仕方がなかったじゃ済まされないのに、実際仕方がないんだもの。その一言で終わっちゃうから。残るのはなくして消えた痛みだけ。
Is the illusion shattering?
もう一度前を向け、やり直しに手遅れはないんだとかさ、ドラマの主人公がよく言うけど、私はあの手の言葉嫌いかな。どうしようもなく無責任。正しいから、そうすべきだから、あなたもちゃんとそうしなさい。失ったものは戻らないから、残ったものを守り続けろ。さあ誓えって。空っぽになった相手に言っちゃダメだよ。何も悪いことなんてしていないのに、勝手に妬まれて、勝手に恨まれて、吊るし し上げられて、
Oh.
はけ口にされた相手に
Oh yeah,
ひどいな。
I think the illusion is shattering. Who was she talking about? I'd never heard of misfortune like that before. If anything, we treasured our everyday lives precisely because no such things ever happened in them. She sounded like she was talking from experience.
それでも
Oddly enough, I was feeling strangely angry at that moment.
ここにいるだろう。
I touched Rusalka's cheeks, along with a bizarre yet nostalgic guilt for having left someone behind.
それともなんだよ。俺の体温は幻か。そりゃよくできた偽物だな。素人のいたずらだってできそうにもないぞ。失ったものは帰らない。仮になくしちまったものができた後でも、まだそんな言葉を吐けるかどうかも。体験するつもりないからどうでもいい。結局、その時その場で考えたらいいんだよ。そんなものは。先のことなんてわからないし、過去ばっか見てると引きずるだろう。真面目に駆け抜けないといけないのは、いつだってこの刹那にしかないんだ。
And so we all lived earnestly in the moment. Whether it was irresponsibility or the pride of one who succeeded at keeping safe whatever they held dear, we treasure the ephemeral radiance of the present moment because we don't want to consider any sort of loss. No matter how much I argued over that reasoning, that conclusion was the only one I'd ever reach. Both the unharmed and the scarred could only live under that belief. If we didn't, we'd eventually flee from something else. And so, those who couldn't stand living in reality clung to the brilliant and repulsive light of destruction, even if that meant burning their souls in the hellfire of calamity for all eternity. And above all else,
あいつらや、何よりお前を失ったわけじゃない。それじゃあ不服か。
Embarrassing as they may have been, I still bluntly spat out those words.
そうだね、レン君。あなたの言う通り、今こうして私のそばにいてくれている。幸せだよ。夢みたいに。
That smile was the most beautiful I'd ever seen. Or rather, it felt like this was probably the first time I'd ever seen Rusalka smile.
こうしてぬくもりを分かち合える。あなたに抱きしめられているこの刹那こそ、私が意地張ってきた成果だって思えるもの。それだけで私追いつけたって思うから。
言われなくたって、俺はどこにも行かねえよ。
嘘本当？あんなに女の子にモテるのに、ぶっきらぼうなイケメン彼氏さんはそれほど私にメロメロなんだ。
Illusion shatters, and Imura's standing right there.
モテてない。
The routes beg to differ, my dude. That was all just for show. What I really loved was... What I loved was...
そんなにツンケンしなくていいじゃない。私だって嬉しいんだからさ。ずっと好きだった男の子にこうして抱きしめられて、あの日失っちゃったはずのものをやっと虜にすることができたんだから。だが
And...
もう絶対離さない。
The world suddenly warped at that moment.
やっと捕まえたわよ。
I couldn't hear it. Though that name wasn't mine, it still felt somewhat nostalgic. The spark of all thought flickered through my mind. from my head. No, maybe it had a long, long time ago, because this was...
普通に耐えることはできても、幸福には誰も耐えることができない。
It wasn't the world that was distorted, it was me. I bent, stretched out, thought, expanded, and then...
これがあなたの望んだ世界？
Holy shit!
私が入ったことでちょっとだけ歪んだけど、これがあなたの願った夢？
That's moderately horrifying.
あなたが溺れたかった水底はここなの？
I was. This world she dragged me into was my dream.
違うといえば違う。
But she also spoke the truth. I wanted to return to my day-to-day life, wishing for days like this to go on forever. But there was still much I had to do. I couldn't stumble and lie on the ground when I should have been running. If I did that, I wouldn't be me anymore.
そうね。まだ深いところに沈まないと見えてこないか。
The witch dragged my feet down into a swamp, her words colored by exasperation and a twinge of delight. Let's keep diving deeper and deeper.
そうしないとあなたのルーツが見えてこない。そうよ。そもそもあなたの人格一体誰なの？それを一緒に探しましょう。答えはそこにある気がする。あなたの魂は何者なのか、それさえ分かれば私の不安もなくなると思うの。
An indescribable chill ran through me at that very moment, one that defied all logic, the sensation of my soul trying to avoid learning the answer.
あら、どうして？
知りたくない。
I was me, Ren Fuji, no one else. I couldn't give a damn about my roots. I wasn't interested in any of that shit. Well, there's a familiar face, I bet. The hell was that thing that just passed through my head?
どうも。かなり危ないものを溜め込んでるみたいだけど。ごめんね。私が知りたいのはそういうものなの。
やべえ。
I let out the most defiant scream possible, though I didn't even know if I had the mouth and throat to do it. I had no clue if it would do me any good, but I couldn't just give in without a fight.
多分あなた、ハイドリ秘境を憎んでるのね。だとしたらケウだわ。あの人にそんな感情を抱けるやつなんて誰もいないのに。
I couldn't hear Rusalka's voice. I had to avoid hearing it at all costs. I needed to forget everything that happened up to this point and wake up. Nothing good would come from remembering these conversations.
ますます知りたくなってきた。絶対に何が何でもそこまで引きずり込んであげる。どんなに必死に頑張っても目なんか覚ますことはできないよ。誰かが起こしてくれない限り。
Oh boy.
誰か。
そう誰か。溺れている時は助けがないと浮上なんかできない。
だったら。
Only one person would be capable of that. In a way, admitting it was kind of tough, but right now I needed her. I begged her for her aid from the bottom of my heart. If there was anyone out there who could save me from being a prisoner of the Obsidian Round Table, it would be...
藤井君。
After all, I couldn't think of anyone else but her. I grabbed the hand reaching out for me with all my might. The nightmare finally ended and I woke with a scream. I puked right then and there. I felt like I'd just gone through something blood-curdling, but I couldn't recall any of the details. Probably good that you can't. How much of that was a dream, and how much of it was reality? I recall someone coming here. We talked, they did something to me, then I lost consciousness, and I tried my hardest to piece it all together again, but it felt like someone within my brain was tackling my reason and telling me to forget it all. The state of my mind was so bad.
おはよう。
Hi. That I didn't even notice the person right in front of me. Holy shit, you're a lifesaver. The suddenness and the contrast was too great for my head to catch up. No, wait, calm down. Didn't I have some serious business to go through with her?
というか、こんばんはだね。目が覚めなかったらどうしようかと思ってたけど、よかった。
先輩
Irae Himuro, also known as Tricia, the female upperclassman I knew well. I knew her well enough to know I shouldn't have been seeing her in this place.
なんで先輩がこんなところにいる？
なんでって言われても、ここは私の家なんだけど。
By that, she meant
教会か。
the building inhabited by Father Trifa, Sister Lisa, and this girl before me. The house of God abandoned by God.
なぜ？
I repeated my question.
なんで先輩がこんなところにいる？
A question matching my previous one word for word, only presented with a different emphasis. Why did she share a position with those freaks? Just how deep was her connection to them? I finally remembered what I'd been thinking shortly before I passed out, and more importantly, the entire reason I was here in the first place. Valeria Trifa, the divine vessel. Do you love Tricia or not? Whether I'd be able to kill her or not. So what he meant was...
先輩はあいつらの。
仲間なんかじゃないよ。
She answered before I could even finish my question. Her words soothed my heart, but not enough to dispel all my doubts.
じゃあ俺の仲間っていうのはどうなんでしょうね。
どうかな。
これどうにかしてくれませんか？
無理だよ。鍵がないし、道具もないし、私、力持ちじゃないし。
Damn it. Basically, she could neither unlock them nor break me out.
でも、そうだね。君の仲間ではあると思うよ。
それは。
カゴの鳥。
Another quick reply with a tone that felt entirely too nonchalant.
何もできないね、私。先回りされちゃったよ。
She slightly looked down and said something that I couldn't process.
今の君は、なんていうか、疲れてるし、それは普通のじゃないと思うし、私にどうにかする方法はないし。藤井君が女で、私が男だったらよかったのにね。
Okay. She was utterly and thoroughly beyond my comprehension.
けども、それはありえないことで、要するに私は、ダメなんだよ。あの人たちに勝てないんだよ。君と同じで。
I still didn't understand her, but if there was one thing I could say to that, it was...
俺は負けないですよ。
Sure, that didn't sound very convincing in my current situation, but I couldn't let myself accept it. I could win. I would win, period. And survive. It was too early to give up.
だから先輩も勝てよ。
I couldn't read her thoughts and intentions, nor did I have a grasp on what she would consider victory. However, if she truly wasn't on their side and her situation was similar to mine, there was only one thing for me to say.
一緒に勝とう。俺は諦めてなんかいない。
Her expression melted into that of disbelief.
君は本当に、どうしようもないバカだね。
With a gentle smile unbefitting her biting words, she traced her fingers across my cheek.
でも私、そういえば、あの人たちの怖さとか強さとか、よく考えると、
全然全く知らないよ。脅されたことも殴られたことも殺されたこともない。何かいつも周りにいた変な人たちって感じね。藤井くんの方がいろいろ私を怒らせたりイライラさせたり驚かせたり喜ばせたりしてくれた。そんな君が言うのならそうね、あの人たち大したことないのかもしれないね。だって君は脅されたり殴られたりいろいろされたんでしょ。
I faced the obsidian table head on and tasted defeat at the hands of Reinhard. And yet here I was declaring that I hadn't given up, bearing it all and wolfishly barking that I wouldn't lose against those scumbags.
それなら私も。ごめんね。君の言う通りだよ。
After nodding, she stood up and started to leave the room. Suddenly, I was filled with worry. Sure, I told her that we should both win without giving up, but what exactly was she planning to do? I knew she was above something that stupid, but I couldn't help but think she was going to pick a fight with either Father Trifa or some other lunatic. That'd be nothing short of suicide, so...
心配しないで。大丈夫。
To lessen my uneasiness, she put on another gentle smile.
私が君を守ってあげる。大丈夫だよ。安心して。もう痛かったり怖かったり、そんなの君に味わわせたりしないから。
And with that, she left the cell. Alone again, I desperately tried to figure out her motives. I felt like I had made a huge mistake. The thoughtless, dumb phrase that I spat out might have forced her into a really bad situation. Oh dear. After leaving the cell, Rhea silently walked down the corridor and felt something off. No, it was safe to say that she felt it while still in the cell. The feeling wasn't based on magic, witchcraft, ESP, or anything similar. Both her physique and senses were those of an average girl. Exactly because of that, though, she had a special ability that no member of the male sex possessed. Women's intuition!
臭い。マレウス。
She kept on walking. For some reason, the shadow under her moving feet was double. It was just like Ren's shadow as she saw it in the cell. One of them seemed to have been tailing Rhea.
出てこないと踏みつぶすよ。私、あなたに怒ってるんだから。
Then?
何よそれ、ひどいじゃない。臭いってあなた。これは彼の匂いだよ。
そこにあなたの余計なものが混じってる。不愉快。
The shadow under her feet opened its mouth and started to speak, though it was a sight that would make the average Joe and plain Jane faint. So that's the opposite of average Joe. I never knew that. Rhea didn't bat an eyelid. If anything was out of the ordinary here, it was her nerve.
あらら、やーね、嫉妬しちゃって。まあ、気持ちはわかるけど、あんまりショック受けないでよ。男なんて、誰でもこんなもんなんだから。
それより早く。
ああ、はいはい。そんな可愛いあやで踏まれたら泣いちゃうから、やめてやめて。
With a jeering laugh, the shadow-trailing ray stood up and gained thickness. Then it placed its hands on her shoulders and made her turn around.
ばあ。とま、こんな感じでどうかしら？
How's what? The question reached the top of Rhea's throat, but she was able to gulp it down. Was she talking to her out of kindness, or was she simply bragging? Rhea couldn't tell. Whichever it was, though, it fit a wicked witch like her perfectly.
というか、むしろ感謝してほしいくらいだわ。せっかくあなたが無駄骨折って無力感とか自己嫌悪とかそういうのにうつうつとするのを防いでやったわけなんだし。
無駄骨？
Rhea neither confirmed nor denied the action she was referring to.
何が無駄なの？
それよそれ。
The witch pointed to the area below Rhea's navel, near her womb, then breathed what seemed like a sympathetic sigh and went on.
あのさ、あなたがやろうとしたことなんて所詮子供の浅知恵なわけよ。少女散らせばオッケーとか あなた舐めてるでしょ。真面目な話。
Oh yeah, that's what she attempted last round, isn't it?
そんなことで処女級は欠落しない。幕がなくなってもいいとかじゃなくて、幕がなくならないのよ。何しても。
You mean like spiritually or magically?
まあある意味いいんじゃない？一定数の男にはブラボーとか言われるかもよ。
I don't get.
あなた自身にとっては冗談じゃないでしょうけど。
I don't get it.
だから優しい私がそれを未然に防いだまでで。あ、そりゃあ白状すると個人的エッジ心もあったんだけどさ。
Ugh.
彼予想外に頑張るわ。あなた本気で邪魔するわ。ちょっとムカついたけど、そこはおあいこってことにしましょうよ。
Ugh. Rusalka shamelessly asked for reconciliation, but Rhea responded with nothing but silence. Then she broke it with a change of subject.
さっきの聞いてたでしょ。
なんかこう良さげな雰囲気だったやつね。私たちが大したことないとか怖くないとか、まあ正直舐めまくってくれてるみたいだけど、そこはそれクリストフの教育が悪いんだわ。別にそれにさ、進んでいろいろやろうとするあなたはこうなかなかいいわよ。いくら無駄なことだとしてもその選択をしたことは褒めてあげる。
She spoke with her usual tone, the one that sounded like a gleeful song of ridicule. However, though it seemed like she was making fun of her, there was a hint of certain sincerity within her voice. Apparently, the witch wasn't completely lying when she said that she was being honest.
汝ただ思うままに不条たれ、汚れよさすれば開かれぬとか、まあそういう格言があってだね。あなたはそれに乗っ取ろうとしたんだから評価してあげるよ。
そうだったらさようなら。私に顔見せないで。
With words as blunt as they were sharp, Rhea was about to make her leave. However, Rusalka didn't allow that.
まあ待ちなさいよ。言ったでしょ、聞いてたって。あなたこれから何する気なの？
Rhea was unable to answer that question. Dozens of seconds passed as the witch held her sleeve. During that time period, Ren's words came back to her. I haven't given up yet. The situation made that phrase seem stupid, and sure enough, she herself called him stupid for saying it. However, it was very like him. A lovable kind of stupidity. Please don't give up. Easy for him to say. What did it mean to not give up anyway? That'd be like denying her whole existence. The person known as Rei Himura was made primarily out of resignation. Then there was acceptance of circumstance, apathy, escapism, and willful forgetfulness. With those characteristics being so dominant within her, there was no space for saying such as defiance, indomitability, or tenacity. Or so she thought.
不条たれなんでしょ。
Rei whispered with a barely noticeable smile on her face. She was already leaving a scene where she tried the impossibility of being defiant, and it was clearly fueled by her own tenacity. Then why resist it? Indomitability wouldn't be the first characteristic that was unlike her. In that case, she'd simply need to embrace it. He wouldn't give up no matter how many times he lost. He would stand up and fight for as long as his body allowed him. Rhea liked that part of him and found it enviable. It was only natural for her to want to imitate, understand, and, if possible, have him acknowledge it. You have to win, too. Yes, she certainly did. Fuji was absolutely right. Would it make him smile if she refused to give up and emerged victorious? Would it make him happy?
あなたの好みそうなことよ、魔女さん。
Her eyes averted, Rhea built up her determination.
不条なことが好きなら付き合ってほしい。
Rusalka squinted, her lips showing no sign of a smile.
魔女の言うことを信じるの？
魔女の言うことだから信じるの。
This person had no hint of goodness within her. Rusalka, A malicious spirit sneering at all of creation, the water nymph blissfully dragging her victims into her swamp and letting it take them. However, she had a certain sincerity behind the malice of that bliss. Though her bewitching song was corrupt to the core, the singer was surely proud of her performance. Therefore,
いいわよ。協力してあげる。見ものよね。せいぜいお互い楽しみましょう。
what Irae was doing was likely the equivalent of throwing a pebble, an action as meaningless as it was useless. However, maybe it'll bring forth a wave that'll sink the obsidian table to the bottom of the bog.
ところで、さっきの
She passed the point of no return, and her heart, throbbing with excitement, made her ask a trivial question.
誰の受け売り？
Wallow in filth. Purity is but an illusion. Discard it, and all doors shalt be open to thee. Irae's upbringing gave her knowledge of on the sayings from a broad spectrum of sacred writings and similar scriptures, but she never heard that one. Was it of her own mind, or...
私の純血を奪った男の格言よ。そいつを探した時期もあるけど、多分もう死んでるわ。
そう。
And with that whisper, the answer was completely forgotten. After all, it was just as meaningless as the question itself. Indeed, it wouldn't have been surprising if Rusalka herself had only recalled it due to a stroke of luck. However, neither of them realized. The words were decades, perhaps even centuries old. They nonchalantly left a certain man's mouth and were about to greatly influence both of their actions. Okay. Now we're back to that. Alright, I feel like that's a pretty good place for us to finally end this one. Now that the fanfiction is over, I just... That was so bizarre, but then it finally kicked back up to the disturbing stuff. Like, I got to the point where I can slightly handle some of the disturbing stuff, but then it just... Oh my god, the amount of just how uncomfortable that made me feel. Like, ugh. It was just really freaking weird. I don't know. I think it was just because where's the hell I was like, where the fuck is the sadistic Rusalka that I know? Like, god damn, this is weird. But anyway, I'm ending it there. I know it's half the length of the last episode, but I just... Fuck. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm gonna go watch something much more pure real quick. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Fuck! Hello there, everybody. Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.